Hello everyone, my name is Michael, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can set up a GUI Ubuntu virtual machine in DigitalOcean. So with that said, let's get into the video. So first of all, I want to mention that have in mind DigitalOcean gives you a $100 credit for 2 months. So make sure you utilize that because why not? So yeah, let's go ahead and start by creating the virtual machine in DigitalOcean. So to do that, once you sign up with DigitalOcean, you should be redirected on a similar page to this one right here. So on your project, it will be first dash project. Now, first of all, you can create a new project and let's name it YouTube tutorial. And I guess let's select a purpose and let's say educational purposes. And then let's go and create the project. Now it says move resources, but we don't want to do that. So we will do skip for now. And now next, what we will go ahead and do is go to Droplets. This is the name for virtual machines. And we will create a droplet, so a virtual machine. Now we will select Ubuntu and we will select the latest version, which is 20.04 LTS. And now you can go with whatever plan you like. So if you want 1 GB RAM or you want whatever, then go with that. Now I would suggest you go with a minimum of 4 GB RAM and 2 CPUs, so with this plan right here. And also have in mind you have those $100 in credits, so if you can utilize that, then you can go for something higher. Next, we will go ahead and select a data center region. So basically this is where you select where your server should be located to. So basically if you want to connect your virtual machine to a database, so let's say the virtual machine is hosting a website, then you want it to be close to your database or close to your clients. So make sure you select that location that is closest to your clients or other services. And here we will select authentication. So basically how you will connect your virtual machine. Now, as you can do SSH key, it is kind of complicated and I don't really like, you can do that, which is more secure, but you can also put a password, which is fine really. So let's go ahead and put a password. Okay, now you can have backups. I guess you can go with that or not. So as it says, it will take a backup of your system once a week and it will maintain it for 4 weeks and then it will delete it. I guess basically I would suggest just enabling monitoring. And if you want, you can enable public IPv6 network. Then it says how many droplets you want. I guess we can go with 1, but you can select as many as you want. And then let's create droplet. Now it will start creating your virtual machine. Depending on how big your virtual machine is, it may take more time or less time. So yeah, wait for it to go to 100%. So now the virtual machine is created. Let's go ahead and click to it and we will click right here which says console. So we'll basically connect to the Ubuntu console and there we go, we are connected. So first of all, what I always recommend is to sudo passwd, click enter, and that will basically add a new password. So go ahead and give your virtual machine a password. Now retype it and there we go. So now what we will do is first of all install xubuntu-desktop, which is basically the GUI for the machine. So we will install the GUI and next we will install something that is called Xrdp, and that basically gives us the functionality which will enable RDP connections to the machine. So by using an RDP connection with Windows, you can connect to the machine. By the way, you can also do that with Mac. So using Mac, you can connect to the Ubuntu by using the Microsoft RDP app. By the way, the commands will be in a txt file down the description, or I'll copy paste them as is in the description. So first of all, the first command should be sudo app update, and it will basically update the system. There we go. Now next we will install xubuntu-desktop. There is also an option for Ubuntu desktop, not X, but I suggest xubuntu-desktop because it's a lot faster. So yeah, I suggest you go with that. Now that's going to take some time. Even if you have a bigger VM or a smaller VM, it's going to take some time. So have that in mind. Now once you have run the command, after a while, it will ask you to select the package configuration, and I suggest you go with lightdm. Okay, so that's done, and it took about 20 minutes or 50 minutes, I'm not sure. So have that in mind. And now we will install Xrdp. So let's do sudo opt install Xrdp, and now do shift Y when it asks you, do you want to continue, and press enter. Then we will check if Xrdp is correctly installed by copy pasting sudo systemctl status Xrdp. And if you get a similar message that says active running, then you are good to go. Then we will do sudo adduser xrdp ssl-cert, as we want to add xrdp to the group. Then we will do sudo systemctl restart xrdp, so we can restart xrdp. Then we'll run a command that says sudo ufw allow 3389, and it basically activates the RDP port. So RDP is running on that port, and we basically allow access to any IP address. Now, if you want to do a specific IP address, I'll have the command right below it that says it's for a specific IP address, but basically have in mind that your IP address changes quite frequently. So yeah, have that in mind. And I think that's basically it. We don't have to do anything else. Now, before we go ahead and connect to it, most of the times we have an issue. So when you try to connect to your Ubuntu VM using RDP, it will disconnect you immediately. So to fix that issue, what we will go ahead and do is, first of all, stop Xrdp. Then we will open a file, this file right here, and we will go on the end of the file, comment those two lines by using hashtag on the start, and then we will write start xvce4. So we will start xvce4, and we will do Control O actually, and we will do Control O and then press enter, and Control X to leave the file. And now we'll run Xrdp again, and that's basically it. Now let's close the console. And let's copy the IP address, the IPv4 address. Make sure you copy this one right here. And we will open the app called RDP, Remote Desktop Connection. And we will copy paste the IP address. We will click Show Options and go to Display. And I want to make a recommendation. So first of all, you have to shrink the screen that you will see the virtual machine, and what I recommend is go on 1366 by 768. That's the best resolution, so your virtual machine doesn't lag. And then we will go on general, and you can save that as a file, so you can just double click on the file and it will open the remote desktop connection without having to put the IP address again and again, and of course set the settings. So let's do that. Let's do save as, and we will do YouTube. Let's give it a name, and we will click connect. But whenever you want to do it through the file, you'll go to the location you saved it at, and we will double click it, YouTube, and it will open this one right here. Make sure you don't ask me again, so it doesn't have to ask you again, and click connect. Again, I'll do the same and click yes, and there we go. Now the screen is a lot smaller in my screen because I have a 4K screen, but if you have a 180p screen, then this window will be a lot bigger. It might also cover your entire screen. And actually, it doesn't only have to do with the resolution, but it also has to do with your screen inches. So the smaller your screen, the bigger the window shows up. So what I'll go ahead and do is zoom in, and we will connect to it. So for username, type root to connect to the root account, and for password, type your password, and let's hope I remember it. And there we go. So it's loading. That's why you see a black screen. Just wait for a few seconds to a minute and it will load up, and there we go. So yeah, that's basically it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments what you would like to see next, and if you got any value from this video, I'd really appreciate you hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of my future videos. So with that said, see you in the next video.